Welcome to the Spread the Juice podcast, your host of the day, me, Gem Lucy. And please could you all subscribe and press like. My mum keeps telling me to do that and I keep forgetting. So please can you all make sure that you subscribe and like. And today I have got Love is Blind, biggest villain, so they say, Sam from London, or Sam Klein, like Calvin Klein. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I really appreciate you having me on today. This is going to be interesting, to be honest.
Thanks for coming. You're actually my first guest to come on time.
Oh, there we go. Oh, time is my thing. That was one thing my mum taught me was always be on time.
Do you know what's so weird? I never heard any doubts about you coming on time. Everyone else, I'm like sending them reminders throughout the day, but you, I just got a vibe. You'd be on time.
Yeah. So I guess it's a villain thing, right? Like we keep it real. But I really appreciate it. But let's dive in. Let's dive in. Yeah, let's do it.
Tell everybody where they'll have recognised you from, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess my life kind of changed. It was about 2 years ago now, actually, when we first did it. But I did Love is Blind UK. So the first ever UK season of Love is Blind. Obviously, it's a big show in America, like, you know, household name, millions of views, and you're aware what you're going into.
Yeah.
So you know when you're signing up to this, it's not just going to be a very straightforward journey. You know, there's going to be ups and downs. You know the edit. You know,
and it's a Netflix show,
right? It's a Netflix show, primarily
and it's
Netflix.
Still on there.
It's still on there, yeah. Funny enough, you say that it's on there for life now.
Oh, dear.
And that's the thing that I'm like, my kids are going to see that. But to be honest, well, yeah, it's not too bad.
It probably won't be on there for life.
It won't be on there for life, yeah. And there'll be like season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
and as a kid's point of view, you haven't done anything bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is it, exactly. I mean, I didn't take my kit off too much. And,
yeah, exactly.
I got offered another show where I was going to have to do that, but actually I didn't do it. So,
what show is that?
Perfect Match was the one that I was going to do, but obviously I fell in love and I didn't have to do
now.
that. Yeah.
Wait, you're jumping also. Let's go
anyway,
back.
All right, cool. So yeah, very straightforward life. Like honestly, like the way I would describe my life, 75% was perfect. Job, career, friends, family. I can't complain. I'm a product designer. So for the last 10 years, I design apps, applications across, you know, different multiple projects in America and the US, UK and America.
How old are you?
I'm 33 now, which is, that's the one that throws me all the time.
And 33. You're a giant, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Sam is a fucking giant. I walked in.
Yeah, I know. That's when I get on the train and I'm like this because I'm like too tall for certain trains.
6'5", 6'6".
And that's also why, you know, I stand out when I'm walking and people recognise me. So there's no hiding. There's no hiding, good or bad. So yeah, like I said, my life was really good. The only bit that was slipping by the wayside was the relationship side. So I've been single for like 2.5 years since my ex, and they approached me. I was on Raya, a dating app. You might know it. And they went to my Instagram, basically. They connected the two and basically said about, hey, well, you got this opportunity for Love is Blind. And I was like, go away. This is rubbish. Like, they were, no, cool. Please let us call you. I was like, all right. Jumped on the call and I was like, oh, it is actually real. Wait, the actual show on Netflix. And I was thinking, and then it oh my God, okay, my life could change.
Big opportunity.
Yeah, big opportunity. And I'm one to say it. So this is the difference between me and some other people. Yes, the love of my life could have been there, like absolutely could have been there, but also it opens doors and it's a great way for people to expose yourself and show who you are. Yeah. And, you know, there's a lot that comes of it. The question I always ask myself, if the cameras weren't there and it wasn't filmed, how many people would actually do it? You know, how many people would actually do the raw experiment? Don't get me wrong, the experiment itself it's a good question. Probably not, because you're getting married to someone and it's a very hidden thing then, right? I think I'm quite honest about it.
Yeah, it's good to be like that. I am as well with all the shows I've done. And sometimes on Love Island, when I see people say, oh, they don't want to win, I'm like, yes, you do want to win. The love's a bonus. But to get out of the show, the point is, be honest. Yes, I do want to get that out of the show. But like you said, if I fall in love as well, that's great.
Absolutely. Like, you know, who doesn't want to fall in love and who doesn't want to show, you know, the exposure that comes with it, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, you know, my life's good, but let's go to another level. Why not? Could be a great story to tell the kids. I did a TV show. You know, that's how I saw it.
Have you thought about doing TV before this happened, or
no,
it was never on your radar?
No. So this is actually the only thing. I like photos in terms of like Instagram, kind of. I like to build my profile in like an aesthetically pleasing way.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates to my job. So very much like style and kind of like creativity.
Yeah, sure.
That was the only thinking I had behind it.
Yeah.
And I love jewellery. So I wear quite a lot of accessories. I make a lot of my own jewellery.
Did you make all these?
Not this one, no. But again, this is Buck Palmer. Great shout. I'm not shouting anyone out, but great Julie brand in LA, good mate of mine. And I was thinking, okay, cool. It could be great. I can start showcasing some jewelry I was making, and that's where your head goes.
Yeah.
And I could be married, and I could say, Mum, pressure's off now. We can have kids. It's both boxes ticked at once.
Of course, absolutely.
But obviously, unfortunately, it doesn't go like that in life. You can't have it all, and whether you're going to fall in love or get anything else out of the show. And my goodness, was it a reality check? Realizing on the other side of the journey that actually, wow, like everything they tell you about reality TV, and you do know your life's going to change overnight. I mean, the day the show came out, I woke up and I was like reading the headlines, and I was like, I'm done. I looked at my best friend who stayed the night. I'm finished. My life's over. I mean, the headlines, women of be aware, Sam Klein, danger to women. And then they compared me to a serial killer. And that was the first headline I saw. Yeah, they compared to the Sun.
Who did?
The Sun.
Oh my goodness
They compared me to a serial killer. So I'm thinking, how am I going to go to work today at 9:30? Log on. Morning, everyone. Yeah, they've seen the papers. Everyone was rooting for me, all my friends and family and everyone at work. They know who I am. Never been in trouble in my life. I'm a normal guy. Okay, sometimes I like to look good or dress up, whatever. But I've never, ever done anything. We all got checked to go on the show.
Yeah, of course.
I've never had one ex-girlfriend come out and say he did this. There was nothing. I'm just honestly, very normal guy who loves life.
That's crazy. Yeah, headlines can destroy your image and also the way you think about yourself. Because did you find that after however many stories you started to second guess, not in that sense, but you're like, wait, who am I really, kind of thing? It kind of makes you think twice about definitely going on reality TV again. Would you do it again?
I think you're absolutely spot on. I think, would I do it again? You would have to, the way I see it now is I'm already knees deep now, or F it. Do you know what I mean?
Dig myself out of it.
Yeah, it's so what I actually thought was something like Big Brother would be good because you have more unedited airtime where you can just be like how I am now, just talking to you like a normal person. It was so chopped into that storyline, and I know we're going to go into it, that I think it would have to be the right type of show, like a cooking show or something where I'm standing there cooking and talking and just showcase who I really am.
What about celebs go dating? That would be quite a good show. Oh no,
I've got a missus now.
You've got a missus now. Sorry.
Although she did say to me, we could do something. No. Shanice.
Sorry about that.
No, she's all good. She's all for it. But she did a TV show in her country. So she did Big Brother, and she straight away was like, I know exactly what's happened. Yeah. And she sat and she explained it to me. She knows you're going to go through this and this is what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I met her a few months after. So obviously the first month when the show came out, it was a really difficult time. Again, we'll go into it. Yeah. But yeah, back to where we were essentially. So this is where I was. And then the show approached me and I was like, do you know what? Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Why not? So this is the interesting thing. I was like, well, I want to get into buff shape and go to the gym and get ripped up for the show because I wanted to look the best I could. But then when I said that in one of my interviews when I first went on the show, that kind of got twisted into
clickbait.
Yeah, and I was just trying to be no, I'm ready. I'm in the best shape for mental stability of my life to go onto a TV show.
Absolutely.
And I think it got twisted into the wrong way of he only cares what appearances.
Yeah.
So there was a big part of the show. Obviously, when I first went onto the show, you do who you are on the camera. And it was really clever because I basically spoke about, I got bullied quite heavily at school. My nose was crooked. And so I actually had a nose job. And I was like, no, I'm the type of person who's going to go on and say, this is who I am. I've had this. I got bullied. I don't care. Yeah. I even cried on camera in this interview. And they literally just chopped all that out and go, hi, I'm Sam from London. I had a nose job.
And I've got a six-pack kind of thing.
Yeah. And it was you missed out all the bits. And then the music was all da 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 da, and then everyone else is violins, and I started to see the narrative, and I I've got a bit of a problem here, and I actually didn't watch it in full, by the way. I only could watch little TikTok clips. It was because I was being told, don't watch that, and my friends were like, I was like, what do you mean? Trust me. So I hid in my room. For literally 4 days without eating or drinking. It got quite bad.
Oh my God. I feel really sorry for you because, from what I saw, you did come across a bit like...
I'm Hollywood.
You was lying.
Not Hollywood, terrible actor. I know.
But then the thing is, the public gets so sucked into these reality shows and they think everything they see is real. They don't remember that, yes, the producers can spin a narrative and make you look, they could literally film you being upset for 2 minutes and it make it look like you're upset the whole day,
That's exactly it.
They can spin it. So people get so sucked into it and then they troll you. But these trolls are not perfect. And that's one thing that I've learned because I've done so much TV. And when I was younger, I didn't care. Now I care a bit more, but I'm used to it. But I can imagine that your first time to get trolled instantly, So, okay,
Crazy.
so you started the show. So let's talk about, you got through, and then let's talk about the pods, because that's the first stage,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you basically, you're in the mix of it now. So you're staying in a hotel and there's the girls' hotel and it's all the rules, no phones, you're really in the experiment. Like you're into a world of like a bubble, like you're gone, you're out of normality and you're like sucked into this world of like having cameras in your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're back for about 2 weeks. You're basically dating in pods and it's, it's very fast paced. I mean, the first day you date everyone to the point where it's like, wait, what was her name? Was it Sarah, Rachel? And I was like, it was really difficult. And I didn't sleep well the first few nights. I started to not be able to sleep. You're laying in bed, you're like, wait, what is this? Like, because you're on your own in a room in the foreign country and you're like, I'm on a TV. What is going on? And you're hearing all these girls' voices, but you can't see what they look like. So that's what I mean by the experiment side of Love is Blind is incredible and hats off to them. It's an amazing experiment. It's the TV element where it's like, okay, now I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some amazing dates and this is another thing, right? So they probably got over like 500 hours of footage from me over 2 weeks, dating these girls. I had about 3 or 4 connections, 2 really strong ones with Nicole and I can't even remember.
Strong connection.
Very strong connection. I can't even remember the name.
Oh, yes. It was Jasmine.
There we go. Bobby and Jasmine. Because I always think Bobby Jasmine now because they're like a couple and hats off to them. Amazing. Like really happy for them.
Are they the only couple that's lasted?
Bobby Jasmine and Nicole and Benaya. So, right. Well, this is it. Listen to this. So the 2 girls that I had a connection with are the 2 girls that got married in the show. So if you think about it, I was having a connection with so I'm in a triangle between the 2 couples that go the furthest in the show and actually are still married today.
Yeah.
So they have to show me in 2 different pods. So the reason why not got screwed over or not per se that is that they kind of showed me going off between 2 different girls. So like if I said the same thing to the same girl, to 2 different girls, it looks like I've been caught out or it looks like you can see a pattern there.
Yeah,
but really it's just like going on a date and you're going on a date and you always present yourself of who you are and you do your thing, 21 questions. And I'm, like I said, I'm very open. I speak about my nose job and but I'm very open.
Yeah.
And I think if I did it ever again, I would have not been so. I would have realised that, oh my God, no, this is TV and they can anything.
And you
can
have
get
to
turned.
really act. Yeah.
Oh my God, my acting's great. Terrible.
No, but I think you panic acted because you kind of meant, from what I saw.
I'll tell you where I acted. So
I know where you acted.
Go on. Where do you think the acting came in?
When you walked into the room.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah. So, well, this is it. It all went a bit peak-tong the day that Jasmine rejected me. And it reminded me, and this is true. It reminded me the day my ex-girlfriend left me. It was the exact same feeling of that. I just can't do this anymore. I've got to walk away. And it brings back real raw emotions. So this was all like, when I walked down, I was upset. And then maybe I did a bit of Hollywood and I threw the cup. And because I threw the cup, I was like, well, all right, whatever. But I was actually genuinely upset. But I also said, and I was very respectful, I said, but I wish you nothing but the best. I really hope it works out for you. And then I walked out. So in fairness, that's fine. And I think it derailed me because then I felt like, right, now I've only got a connection with this Nicole person and it needs to work. Otherwise, I've done all this, a year of training, everything for nothing.
Yeah.
So I put too much pressure on it. And I think in hindsight, I should have been like, do you know what? Let's go in again with Nicole and see what happens. And then it was like, but I tell you what happens is it's the day they go, right, you're getting engaged today. Essentially, it's leading up to the final day where you've got to make the engagement or basically say no. So it's basically like the way I saw it was like, okay, I'm not really in love with her, but I could be falling in love with her. And there's another 4 weeks of filming. So I might as well get engaged and then see where the journey takes us. Because you never know. Sometimes you meet someone, you might not be attracted to them at first, but then you do end up being attracted to them. Or you might have a small connection. You might want to go on another date. So I saw it as like, okay, let's go on a retreat to the Greek island and like see how it goes. So I thought I'll get engaged. And that went, it was a bit cringy, whatever, fine, whatever. I was cringe.
So just for context, when you get engaged, just tell everyone you've never seen them before.
Never seen them before.
And the first time you see each other is when these doors open and you walk towards each other. So please just be honest with me. Did you fancy her when you first saw her?
Brutally honest, no.
Yeah.
No, I didn't fancy her, but I wanted to work with, I was like, I'm going to like, just give this a chance. Just like, I'm not just going to be like, no. So I also thought to myself, I always say this, I was like, but if I just went, no, bye, I would have been even hated. So I was hated either way.
Exactly,
So I was either the worst actor in the world, which I am, or I could have been better at that, should have been better, or I should have just walked away. So I was going to be hated either way. So it was a lose-lose kind of situation. But what Nicole did was it was either really clever, or I don't know, or she just didn't know what to say. She didn't say anything at the reveal. It was actually me just going like, trying to like
You were just word vomiting,
because I was shaking, I was soaking wet, and I was really nervous, don't get me wrong. There's cameras and the whole crew watch it because it's like the big romantic end of the whole filming exercise. And it's just you two and everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
And I wish in hindsight, I just stayed a bit more quiet. I was just like, let's just see. Like, lovely to meet you. Like, kept it more casual.
You were probably trying to like fill in the awkward silences and stuff. And I think, didn't you say you loved her though on that day?
So what I did, I turned around and said, Nicole, I think I love you.
Yeah.
But again, like, you know, I did explain in the mouth that I think I'm starting to fall in love with someone, but I'm not quite there. It's only been 12 days. Like, think about it. 12 days?
12
Can
days
you be in love with someone else? Okay, maybe. I don't, again, okay. Well,
everyone else is just a better actor.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And, you know, at the end of the day, well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. You had people saying, I love you at that point. And then they went all the way to the end of the show. And this is not me naming names. And then they're basically at the altar saying, no, I don't want to marry you. So, but hold on a minute. You loved them on day 12, but now you don't want to marry them. So are you in love? Because if I'm in love with someone, I'm getting married. Like,
name names.
You want that? Well, I mean, like some of the other couples, you know, to be honest, I didn't really watch it in full. I was just seeing clips, to be fair.
Yeah.
But for me, well, when we go into it a bit further down the show was when I got to the reunion and the hate and everything. So we can go into that.
Yes,
and then I can speak a bit more openly. But yeah, so the experience kind of got to that point. Oh, this is the bit that I wanted to speak about today. Was the misconception with the storyline. So we got engaged and then we were sent off to our hotels. It's like, right, tomorrow you find out who gets picked to go to the next stage of the show. So I mean, there was 11 engagements and only 4 or 5 actually go to the next stage of the show because they don't have enough budget to film everyone. It's too many storylines.
Yeah.
So you go back to your hotel room. I was like, well, it's a 50% chance. I might not. And, you know, you're back at the hotel and all the boys having beers at certain points in the evenings go, do you think we'll get through? Everyone's like, kind of no one knows.
Yeah.
Or the people are like, oh, maybe Ollie will get through or, you know, you don't know. Mm-hmm. And then during the night, I got a knock on my door about 3 a.m. Hi, Sam. Then they came in, the producers, and they were like, Netflix don't want to continue this journey with you. I'm so sorry, but you're free to continue this on the outside world, Nicole. Goodbye. So I was like, oh, well, that was the end of that. Gutted, but I was like, okay, that's the end of that. Hang on a minute. I got a fiance. Like, I've got a fiance. And we're just going to be left to go. So we're on the next flight home the next day. We fly back home. And now I'm stuck in the UK. And I'm like, I have a fiance at the airport. And what do I do? Hi, nice to meet you. Oh, you got a ring on. It was bizarre because you're back into the real world. You're off the experiment. So for me, that was like one of the bits where I was like, okay, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be really, really difficult because you're back into reality. But there is one thing I want to touch on. The people who got selected got to go on this coach to another hotel to go to the airport as like they're the ones that got through. So they're all getting on this coach at 6 a.m. in the morning. And guess who was the only person who stood outside the hotel to actually wish them luck and wave them off and hug them?
Who?
It was me. And I became the most hated one for all of them. But I was the only one standing outside that morning saying, I wish you all the best.
Wait,
Freddie,
so where's Nicole
Bobby.
at this point?
So this is just the boys getting on the coach.
See.
So the girls are getting on their coach.
Yeah,
so basically, some people took it badly. They got basically rejected off the show.
Yeah, I see.
So they're laying in their bed, sleeping in. And the next morning, the people who got through, they go separately off on to continue. So it's like they're getting on the fast track ride.
Yeah, so you're the only one that made the effort.
I made the effort to go outside and wish them all the best and on their journeys because that's generally who I am. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's frustrating because when we got to the reunion and like everything that came out of the show, I was so abandoned by my castmates because when they saw that I became the villain and the press and I just got completely left on my own, like in the dark. And no one in the real world understood what I was going through because they just didn't get it. They were just like, oh, just don't reply to people. It's like, no. Like, this is bad. Like, I'm in a bad place.
But did Catherine stay close with you?
No, so to be fair, Catherine did. But again, she was with her new partner at the time. So she had a bit of Jake. And there was a few of them that understood and we had a bit of back and forth. Yeah. But, you know, what's Catherine do? She's not going to come to my house at 12 at night and like sit with me. Do you know what I mean? Course, so I was basically on my own.
Of course.
And I had a few really close friends who I didn't get a lot back from the show. And they basically were just gone. And it was really, it was really upsetting. Really upsetting.
God, that is really upsetting.
So this is when, so basically then they go on the retreat. They all fall in love, happy. I'm happy for them, whatever. But we're back in London. So we're now stuck in London. And what happened was we got to the airport and Nicole, I was like, okay, come stay at my flat for 2 days. Come stay at mine, Nicole, and let's just see, you know. Mm-hmm. She was like, yeah, great. So she came with her rucksack and a luggage. Really cute, you know. Like, and she's like, oh, okay, let's just try, like whatever. Yeah. She came to my flat. We had a Nando's. She spoke to my parents on the phone. I met her sister on the phone. Yeah. And we were both a bit dazed at this point, you know. Again, we're just
what the hell's going on? Yeah.
And this is where I think I made a mistake. And this is what I've never said this before.
Exclusive.
This is an exclusive, actually. I opened up to Nicole about being a little bit upset about us not getting through. Naturally, I was like, oh, it would have been great if we were on the retreat. You know, it's such a shame. And she started to pick up on it in the sense of like, oh, all you cared about was going through. But I was like, look, but I mean, it would have been an opportunity for us to be in a foreign country, still going through the process, seeing if we love each other. And I opened up a bit too much. And I had no idea that 2 days later she was going to be whisked back into the show, did I?
No, of course not.
Never. So it was over. So I was very honest, but still really respectful to her.
Yeah.
But honest to the point of like, I was upset that we didn't get through. And so then obviously after 2 days of her staying at mine, you know, again, I think things could have happened and I held back because this was such a touchy topic at the reunion. I'm gonna leave this bit out as much as I want to because I think unfortunately I'm happy for them. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna leave that. But all I can say is that she left my flat. We had a good conversation and we said, you go back to yours and let's just see how things play out over the next few weeks. So I sent her, and then she sent me a message when she got home saying, hey, thank you so much. I'm glad we had that chat. You know, we don't need to be engaged, but let's just speak and see what happens. You know, like maybe boyfriend and girlfriend or maybe nothing. And we both lacked the sexual connection and the chemistry, right? So that was fine. And I thought that was it. So
she didn't try and sleep with you?
See, this is where you're going to get me in trouble. I know the spread the juice, but I don't know if it's too... it's...
Come on, Sam. It's over. It's fine.
Let's say advances were made.
From her side?
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't feeling it. Though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so for me, it was more of a case of I was a respectful gentleman and I said, no, I'll sleep on the couch if I have to. Like, so that's where I see it. And I'm glad we didn't because actually now in hindsight, I'm really, like I said, I am actually really happy for them. I actually didn't, at this point, I had no issue with anyone. No issue with anyone. Yeah. At this point, there is no benign, Nicole. It's just we're off the show and we're two human beings, right? Mm-hmm. But she did leave and that's why I was happy that, look, if it doesn't work out, at least it doesn't look like, oh, you know, Sam just slept with her and then just kicked her out too. So no, I didn't allow
So she didn't stay over?
She did stay for 2 nights.
2 nights. Oh, and then she went home.
And then she went home.
I see.
So then she sent me a message, thank you so much. I'm glad we called the engagement off. It's a bit silly, you know, we're like, you know, we're not engaged. Like, come on.
Did you not even kiss?
No, we didn't kiss. But we didn't kiss at the reveal.
Oh, yeah.
Look, there was no attraction there. There was no attraction there. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes,
but
you know?
I thought she fancied you, though, a little.
I wasn't sure because the way at the reveal, she didn't say anything. And I was like, what do you think? And then, that made me look like a narcissist or whatever. I don't know. That's the word the buzzword everyone loves.
Oh, everyone uses that word all the time for everything.
I wasn't sure. I didn't think she did.
I don't know. I mean, if she made advances to you, that shows she might fancy you. But
maybe she was just trying to give it a go just to see. I don't know. It was a really... I don't think she fully liked me. I think I'm not her type. Mm-hmm. But we had a good connection in the pods. And this is very important to say. We did have a good connection in the pods.
With the person.
With the person. Exactly, and then when the other element comes in, it wasn't quite there.
Yeah. Can I just touch on one thing before we go on to the next bit? Yeah. So one comment that I want to ask you about. And actually, I can see why you asked it, if I'm honest with you. So I'm sure a lot of people gave you a lot of hate for saying something when she said something like you might not be able to pick her up or something like that. Yeah.
I'm so happy you brought this up and it's a really big one. It came up at the reunion. So I'll tell you what it is. Absolutely. Look, this is the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is if you're dating someone for 2 weeks and you know that you're about to get engaged to them and potentially spend the rest of your life with them, on one of the last days they go, I said, I can't wait to pick you up and squeeze you and give you a big kiss at the reveal. Mm-hmm. And for her to go, oh, yeah, no, you might not be able to. And then she goes, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And obviously I'm sitting there and going...
And then she went, we were not allowed to talk about
we're not allowed to talk appearance.
Yeah.
She threw it out there.
Yeah.
Like,
and although she is beautiful and she is not big at all.
Exactly.
But when you have never seen her, you're thinking,
it plays on your mind even more.
An elephant or...
But you know what? Okay, so here we go. So this is the bit, right? It wasn't even just the weight thing. I thought she might have a disability, maybe one leg. Like, I didn't know because everything goes through your head because you're not seeing what they look like.
Exactly.
It might be that, it could have been anything, a medical condition, and all of it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
But you want to know.
But you want to know, yeah. So I went back to the lounge and I said to, it was Jordan and Ollie, I was like, dude, something really weird just happened. This is all it was. I just went back to decompress. I said, look, Nicole just said this. What do you think?
Yeah.
And then one of the boys made a joke and tried to be funny about it, like, oh, it'll be fine. Oh my God, did that get cut up into the biggest drama in the world? And now I was like, but I actually said, I don't mind if she's a bit bigger on the bigger side. I don't care. Yeah. Like, if anything, I quite like that. I tell my girlfriend, I don't care. Like, that's not a problem. But it plays on your mind more because you've never seen what they look like.
Yeah, and so you don't know whether it means you're curvy, whether it means you're, like you said, huge or disability, all these things that you said.
But she shouldn't have said it.
And everyone's got a type. She shouldn't have said it.
She shouldn't have said it.
Everyone's got a type. And this is one thing I always say to people, especially on Married at First Sight as well.
Yeah.
When men come across like they don't fancy a woman because they are larger or too skinny, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I have a type. I want certain height, certain hair, whatever. And I just feel like when men say it, it's like you're fat shaming, but it's not. And I don't know if there were any headlines. Were there headlines about that comment?
So that was the second big headline on the first day.
Okay.
Fat scandal. Fat shaming scandal, Sam Klein from Love is Blind. And I'm like, again, my company, all my, they're all going to sit, my life was over. This is where the depression came in. It was so upsetting. That was the one, I had a panic attack. And I went into I remember it very vividly. My friend who stayed over because he was worried and we were going to watch the first episodes the next day. We woke up from these headlines like, bro, don't open your phone. And I was like, what? Yeah. When he told me, I went into like, I shake in and I went to my...
So did you think it was really going to affect your career?
Yeah, I thought my CEO was going to fire me. I genuinely believe, I thought I was going to get the phone call that I was finished.
And you didn't get that call?
No, they know who I am and they said, Sam...
Exactly.
Ignore all that rubbish. We know who you are. You've been at this company for 3 years. Like, we love you. You treat our clients with utmost respect. You're one of the most likable people. Who's just a friendly guy. Sometimes says things a little bit silly, but most harmless person. My girlfriend said to me the other day, it was a fly news. She said, we'd kill it. I go, no. She goes, yeah, you wouldn't even hurt a fly. Like, let alone, do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I'm like the BFG. They call my friends call the BFG, the big friendly giant. Like, I'm literally harmless. So when you're seeing all this about you, oh my God, it was like living out of body experience. Yeah. And obviously the disappointment that, the show was I knew the storyline was all mucked up anyway, because at this point I knew about them getting married. Yeah. And also secondly, it's because, you put a year into like this whole show and like your whole life goes on to this. Yeah. And for it to just go, you become the villain. And
they don't look after you, the show. They
did.
Oh, they did.
To an extent, they did. There was so CPL, the production company looked after you really well, and then obviously there's Netflix, and they all want to get the best edit, but CPL look after you from that standpoint. But there's no looking after in the world that can help someone who's going through that. No, exactly. They're not there seeing what I was seeing, and it was like so bad. It was death threats. Like it was really I had like people who would send me essays about how much they hate me and how ashamed my parents must be of me, and do you know what? I wasn't upset about my life being over. It was my family's, my sister and my mum and dad, because I felt like I'd tarnished their lives. And for me, that was the hardest. They were fine. And like, they tried to support me as much as they could, but their opinion was, you should have never done it in the first place.
That's what my parents
A little bit old school. But my sister was really supportive. And also, by the way, I really want to touch on this. Guess who supported me the most out of everyone? It was the Love is Blind villains from the American series. All came to my
all the villains come together.
All villains come together. You're part of a special club. Yeah. So shout out Shane. There was a few of them, but Shane, middle of the night, we were having voice on the call with each other, and I was in the position of like, I don't want to be around anymore. And this guy said to me, I went through the exact same.
You actually felt suicidal?
Yeah. I had 4 days in my room. When I say I locked myself in my 4 days, I didn't eat or drink. So my family intervention, so they all came and like basically took me out the flat. They literally got me out and I went to stay at my family's house. Oh my God. It was that bad. And not one person from the show came to like say, do you know what? Like I thought even the couples that got married be like, do you know what, Sam? Like we did the experiment with you. You never did anything like racially wrong or anything. You never hit anyone. You just said a few silly things like, I think I love you. And it came across a bit red flaggy.
You didn't get the racial attacks, did you?
No, mine comes more probably from my background. So there was that element as well. I'm Jewish, so there was a little bit of like that, but like that's whatever. Everyone gets a little bit. Don't get me wrong, like the most popular people on the show still got, I was hearing like, Catherine, she's amazing. Like she's so sick. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You watch Catherine, you're like, she's amazing. She's TV gold. And she genuinely was trying to find her husband. Exactly. And, even hearing that she got things, I'm like, what? Like.
But the thing is, in all these shows, if you don't finding love is the number one, right? But then after that, it's like, right, you need to stay in. Like Love Island people do it too. They fake relationships all the time and they don't get as much hate. So I do really feel sorry for you, the amount of hate that you've told me you've got, especially meeting you today.
No, I appreciate it. Like, I mean, look, it is what it is. And what I enjoy about you is that you have this experience, right? You've been through it and you probably got the hardest, like you know how to put your barriers up. It was my first time and I was like, oh my God. So and then eventually like it got to the point where it was either go down that route or I had this comedian friend and he goes to me, what are you doing? Get up. I'm coming over. We're going to film some content. We're going to make some funny TikToks. And I did this TikTok where I was basically like, yeah, I am a red flag. And, you know, I think I love you. I love you. Got like 2 million views. It went viral. And like suddenly all the comments started going through like, you've turned it around. You've turned it around. And
take
I was
the
like,
piss out of yourself kind of thing.
I was like, that was the route I had to go down.
Yeah.
And this is another thing. I've worked really hard over the last 6 months to a year to like turn it around. Like really hard. Like everything I put on my socials, like I'm trying, I feel like I have to go the extra mile just to turn people around. I've had people who hated me and like sent me horrible messages now going, I apologize for that. I even had people, and this is also another thing about trolling, because you're right, they do have insecurities. And they basically, when you reply to them, I replied nicely, and they actually said,
they changed.
Oh my God, you replied to me. I didn't mean that. I just, and I was like, it's okay. Like, honestly, I'm here to talk. And I had men from all over the country, all over the world. I had people reaching out to me and saying, I hate my nose. You had a nose job. How, you know, like, and I actually started to help people.
Yeah. I want to talk about your nose after thing. But
so basically the cut long, I actually started to help people. So there was a positive to it, you know, silver linings, all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah.
I got trolled the other day. Some girl told me to kill myself. And I just wrote back, you're so pretty. And she was like, oh my God, thank you. Generally, she thinks I'm pretty. I was like, you lot are all just messed up. Like, who would actually, there's going to be people that you watch you don't like on TV and me, but I would never go and type it. It's just,
I know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. How sad must you be to go and type it? But it's actually, they're crying out for help.
Exactly.
And there was a statistic, I can't even get that word out.
Go for it.
Statistic that the UK has the most trolls. And I always say this, it's because the weather's shit. It's so expensive here. Lifestyle's difficult. We're not got a beach. We ain't got sun. So people sit at home and they've had a long day at work.
Miserable.
They get home and they're like, I'm going to go, that Sam guy, he's a red flag. I'm going to go just tell him how much I hate him and what a sad case he is.
And they probably don't even hate you. They're probably jealous of you because for whatever reason, you're on the show or you're tall and they're small or they've got whatever.
Yeah, but I had insecurities and I spoke about them, but then I got the whole incel thing. And then this show came out recently about the whole incel thing. I didn't even really quite understand the whole thing, but basically there needs to be more done to help men. And I think there is a lot.
Yeah.
I think anyone in general who needs help that should get it, and like that's where therapy comes in, and like, you know, everything I've done now to get myself to where I am now, you know.
Sure. Should we talk about your nose job now then, and then we'll go back to Love is Blind. So talk me through that. Yeah,
so absolutely. So I went to a boarding school and...
So did I.
Yeah, so I went to Aldenham School in Watford.
Oh my God, I know it. Yeah.
Do you know it?
I've heard of it, yeah. Because I got expelled from loads of boarding schools and I know all of them.
Okay, fine. yeah. And as much as you had these kids like from Russian billionaires and these American oligarchs, you know, all that type of stuff. It was tough. These kids, like, because they're like almost a bit broken because they're coming from, they don't know their parents. So there's a lot of drugs and smoking going on, you know, behind the bushes and all that.
How old were you when you went to boarding school?
I was 13 till 15. So like kind of like I went to a prep school and then went in there for 3 years before I went to college kind of thing and then uni. But either way, I used to have really long grunge hair, hated my nose, and I was a bit fat, a bit chubby, you know.
Can we put a picture up of it or no? Would you rather not?
I'll try and find one. Yeah. I think I did have, I'm sure my mum would dig one out because she was a proud moment.
Insert it. But
go on.
Insert
image now. All makes sense. That's why he's insecure. So and then essentially, basically, really, I got bullied quite hard, but everyone kind of got bullied. It was a tough boys' school. There was no girls, so it was really tough. And it was always about my nose, so that's why I grew my hair long to cover it. And I was a bit of a grunger. I loved skateboarding and all that, but whatever, I was a bit different. And I think that insecurity always stuck with me massively. Yeah. And, you know, when I was in a position where I'd been working for a few years in my 20s and I was like, do you know what? I've got the money to do it now. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go to Harley Street and just get it done. Yeah. And all my friends are like, really? I was like, yeah. It's kind of like, you know, like people get hair transplants now. It's so normal. Yeah. So this was before COVID. It was like 6 years ago. And I was like, can I swear on here?
Yeah, go for it.
Fuck it. Yeah. I'm going to get my nose done. So I went and did it during COVID lockdown because it was the perfect time. So no one would see me after. And I went to this surgeon who had like this special treatment where it wasn't like bang, bang, bang. It was like a laser machine. And I did it. And do you know what? It was the best thing I ever did. Yeah. It gave me that new lease of life. And then even for dating and being comfortable in my skin. And I'm always about this. Anyone who's listening to this, like, do what makes you happy. If you're not hurting or harming anyone else, go and do what you want. Like, make yourself feel happy. Like, do you know what I mean?
I have this saying with surgery is if you think about it every day, at least a few times a day, if it annoys you that much, then do it. Because it will change your life,
100%,
like you said.
100%. Yeah. Like for me, it was like, you know, again, it was... Do you know what was annoying for me was that they made it look like the show that so you know I talked about the gym and all that, I'd just done my nose to go on the show. which wasn't the case. It was 6 years before. And so I had people basically trolling me saying, oh, you got a nose job just to go on Love is Blind. I was like, no, I didn't. It was so frustrating because there was so many rumours and fake rubbish that comes with being the villain. It's just part of it, I guess. Exactly. So, but yeah, best thing I ever did. Like, I'm all for it. Like, whoever wants to get things done, get it done.
It's so nice how open you are about it as well, because a lot of people would never say that, especially men. They'll just want to hide it.
Well, this is why I helped loads of men who secretly started messaging me, because this is the plus that were the positives that came from the show was that, it screwed me over on national TV because I was like talking about my insecurities and it got twisted into, they could have done it a better way, the way they, you know, and the bits where I was crying about telling you these stories and like it all just got chopped into something that just, hi, I'm Sam from London. Like, no, it wasn't like that. Because I'm a really emotional, spiritual person, really spiritual and emotional, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I really do. I'm just, when something, I can't hide a secret though, because I'm the worst liar, my girlfriend says. So if, you know, like you saw me with the, it's obvious, right? So that's fine, but it doesn't make me a bad person.
No, like, it doesn't. You know. It's the edit. You're right. And I actually feel bad because when I watched you, I thought, oh, God, he's a bit of a liar. But now I'm talking
I'm not a playboy. I'm not a party animal. I'm just really very normal. Like, I know there's normal, but I'm probably not. I'm not normal and I'm proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is no normal.
Absolutely.
And I really hope that now it's giving people confidence, like other men out there, that it's okay to get plastic surgery as well. So this is where I was, exactly. So that's where it goes with the surgery side of things. So that was a positive.
Amazing. So let's jump back to the show. So when Nicole got the call to go back in, did you know about this?
You're going to love this.
Yes,
because like this is where it was like, oh my God. So she left my flat and then I was a bit worried about her. So this got left out because it was actually in the interview where I started showing my phone and the messages and they cut it all out. And I was like, let me send her a message, make sure she's okay. I was like, hey, how are you?
Why were you worried about her?
She left and we've been through an experience where I couldn't sleep for a few nights. Like, you're just engaged with someone and she's left your flat and she's just gone, vanished. And you just did all that experiment. And you got to remember, we're now on our own. No one understands. So I was like, I want to make sure she's okay. That's the type of person I am. Like I said, I waved the rest of them off when they were going to the retreat. I generally am. That is who I am.
Yeah, it's not like she could have spoke to anyone else about the experience.
Exactly. I thought she might be, no, I'm all good, Sam, getting back into reality. Yeah. That's all I thought. No response. Then I called, no response. I called again. There was about 4 missed calls, no response. Phone is off. This is weird. What is going? Why is her phone? And then I started to worry, like, because I start to think about, like, I was like, what if she started hurt herself or something? Like, had bad thoughts about it all, and like that it didn't work out, and I'm the reason or something.
Yeah, I get those thoughts.
Yeah, I worry that, like, I don't want to be. And I just wanted to make sure she was okay. Then I got a call from one of the producers. Hey Sam, there is something we want to tell you, and I was like, go on. I was really scared at this point. They were like, yeah, we just want to let you know that Nicole and Ben did actually meet up in London today, and they've decided to rekindle their love, their romance, and they've been they're flying off to join the others on the retreat. That's hard to take, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Even if I didn't have the feelings, I did have feelings for her, but okay, it didn't work out. That was tough. I was like, wow, okay. And then it dawned on me that I obviously told her things off the air because we'd gone back to the normal world.
And you had no idea she was going to go.
So you've got to remember, I had it, not only was the 2 couples that got married on the show were the 2 I dated, so they were going to show both. Now we also had the elements of, like, we went back to the real world. So it's almost like an unfair experiment because experiments should follow the rules.
Yeah.
They did not do it the way the experiment should be. They created a storyline out of that. They should have never gone back to the show. And this is the only thing that I would question on them both is, why did you feel the need to go back on a TV show? Why couldn't you why couldn't you carry on your relationship off air?
Outside,
why did you feel the need to go back on the show? Come on, just tell the truth.
Do you think she contacted the show and said, I'm not continuing with Sam, I want to go back with Adaya?
Okay, so apparently she did, but she never told me that when she stayed at mine. She just said I wasn't sure and, like, I wasn't quite fit. I was like, look, yeah, no, whatever. But I don't really know the truth about it. But what I can tell you is when I saw the bits where the way it was edited, when she was sitting on the bed talking about, I'm really happy that I didn't decide to go on the retreat. That's not what I was told. I was told we weren't picked by Netflix. They had 5 people who they believed that were actually in luck. They didn't pick us.
Well,
I know for a fact they didn't pick us.
It's a bit hypocritical of them to say that you just wanted to be on the show when they then went back together on the show when they could have continued outside. But then on the flip side, if you have got that opportunity, you wouldn't pass. But it just depends how it happened, whether she asked them or whether they were trying to push that, because they might have pushed it.
So this is the thing. I think even if they did push it, the fact that she didn't want to go anymore on the show, why would you then go back on the show? It's so many unanswered questions that we'll never know. We'll never know, really. We're not inside their heads. We'll never know.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, and I'll just back up again, they are happily married now, so I am happy that it worked out for them. Yeah. But, maybe, I guess you get a free wedding, I guess. I don't know. Positives, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll tell you one thing, and this is something that I don't care because I'll say it. Mm-hmm. There's an element on the show where he goes into the pods and basically says, I know Sam's here for fake reasons or whatever, however it's edited. And I'm like, yeah, what are they?
Yeah.
No one questioned it. Like, what do you mean fake reasons? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know who you are. You were one of the boys in the lounge. You're right, mate. Yeah, good you. Yeah. And there was cliques in the lounge. It was like my little clique and then he had his clique.
Who was in your clique?
So my besties were Ollie, best like brothers.
Yeah.
Jordan, who wasn't shown.
Ollie wasn't a good actor either. I do really like Ollie though.
He did better than me, yeah.
Yeah, better than you.
We actually touched base recently. Look, this is the thing with Ollie was that I'm super happy for him, top bloke. And I think if my storyline went a bit differently, like we would still be as close as we were. I get it. I get it. Like, you can't be seen out with the red flag. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. No, to be fair to Ollie, he was busy. Like,
he's doing his thing. Why no one wants to be seen out with me? I've only just realised.
Well, we were going to go on Perfect Match together. So we were also like, yeah, let's get back in the gym. Like, we're now back onto the next one. I was like, yeah, good times ahead. And obviously that, didn't happen for me. And obviously he went on and now you've seen he's got engaged on National. Amazing. So really happy for him. But he was my bestie in there. So there was cliques. Like, it's like at school when you have the kids that might like skateboarding, some like Harry Potter, some, what I mean?
Of course, and there's cliques and everything.
I think there was an element of like, maybe the clique I was in, we were like the too cool for school kids, but it wasn't really like that. But it maybe for them, it felt a bit like that.
Yeah.
And for some reason he went in and said that. And I was like,
well, he'll just mean that you want what comes out of the show. But I hate that comment because everybody wants what comes out of the show.
Yeah, well, there's that side of it, but there's also the other side of it is that part of the rules is you don't go in and talk about it. So to win the go over, I wouldn't go into the pods and say, don't pick Ollie, pick me, because...
Oh, really?
Well, he went in, basically tried to manipulate, to tell her, Sam's here for wrong reasons. I don't want to tell you, but I know he's here for wrong reasons, so pick me. That's basically what he did.
Yeah, that is what he did.
Whereas I went into the pods just to talk about me and say, the reasons why you should be with me is because X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. So again, it kind of broke the rules.
So what were the rules? So you couldn't talk about the other
appearance, talk about other people. You couldn't talk about who you were dating. So it was all very confidential. So there was a lot of like, you're in the lounge and people's eyes, you're like, who's dating who? It was and then you're becoming friends with these people, but then they could be having...
Oh, so when you're in the lounge with the boys, they can't say who they like?
No, you weren't supposed to. Some people did say a little bit loosely, I had a bit of a big mouth. They knew it was like, I was a bit obvious. This is where I wish I was a little bit more gamesmanship. Well, that's the thing, gamesmanship. I actually didn't play a game.
Yeah.
I should have. That's the problem. I should have sat there, stum on the couch like this and just sat watching the game. Freddie was amazing and they just sat all day like that. And I was like, but I don't get it. And it worked. And it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really
definitely.
interesting. So this is where you learn from it. But, again,
when I did TV, the first show I did, I didn't play a game and I got it all wrong. But I got the chance to, the next ones I did, I played a fucking massive game the whole way through my career. So it's like you need that little tester show. But for you, you're probably at an age where, and you've got a girlfriend now. So a lot of the shows are dating shows. So unless you did Big Brother, and in there, it's a game as well. But you can be yourself.
Yes.
You don't have producers pulling you around and stuff.
This is it. It's not trying to create a storyline from a love romance side. And that's the whole, you're spot on. I wish I just did Big Brother, basically.
No, but you probably still could.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't know how much you can say earlier, but yeah. Like let's see. I think, like I said, I've had to recover for 6 months. And I really wanted to highlight today that anyone who's watching, like, if you do have the opportunity, I always say to people now, like, really think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said, I'm quite emotional person, and I think I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. But then again, I am still here today.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been through, and the way I look at it now, anything that happens in my life now is so easy compared to that. Like, if there's an issue at work or I have an argument with my girlfriend, it's like, compared to that, like, you just
But you absolutely smashed it. And everybody, in the sense of like, everybody knows who you are, even though you weren't. So you came back once, didn't you, for the... in the show.
So this was the reunion.
No, in the show you came back.
Came back to the mixer.
And
at this point I was like, this is where they sold me again. The producers were like, just go, everyone's gonna be fine. And I was like, yeah, no, I just want to tell Nicole, like, I'm really happy you're happy now. That's all it was. So I turned up and I go down and I see Bernard. And like at this point, I didn't know he did the whole, I know he's here. So at this point, I didn't have a problem with anyone. I didn't know what was being all said. So I didn't know Nicole probably told them, oh, when we went back to his, he was probably like slagging off X, Y, Z. But, you know, in reality, I was just like going to say hello to everyone. Just be like, here's the, I think she had my bracelet and she gave me the wedding ring back and I wanted to, you know, just say final goodbye. That was also, and I turned up and I went to hug Bernard and he went, nah. And I was like, oh, do you not want to talk? And that's when it sunk in. I'm in trouble here. I've walked into a fire pit. Ollie comes and gets me.
No idea.
No idea. Ollie comes in, bro, you've walked into a fire pit tonight. Like I've tried to have your back as much as possible. But everyone at the retreat was talking about all the stuff you did. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Well, like she came back to, didn't get picked and she came to mine and then that was it. No, like all this stuff. And I was like, I think there was a lot of Chinese whispers, unfortunately. And this is why it was really upsetting because I was like, what? I had no issue with anyone. I walked in there and I should have been more aware that this is the TV show. Yeah. This is what happens.
So do you think Nicole hadn't told Benaya that she stayed at yours?
No, I think she probably was aware. But like I said, the reason why I said the comment when we had the one-on-one outside was because I was trying to say like, it's not like I slept with her and then said, get out my flat, we're done. I actually did the respectable thing. So it was like, he was coming at me. Well, the way they set it up was, it was like, someone wants to talk to you outside. I was like, oh, maybe Benaya wants to talk to me and just be cool. Like shake my hand, said, you know what, Sam? I'm happy, I'm going to get married to Nicole. You're a good guy. Nothing really that bad has happened. So I was so naive to think. So they told me to sit down outside. They positioned you and they're like, right, someone's going to walk out now. And then all the cameras are there.
You had no idea who was going to walk out.
And then I saw Bernard coming towards. And it was told to me that he was just coming out to shake my hand. And like, he just went for 15 minutes until I snapped. And that's when I said, you do know she wanted to sleep with you. And then you watch the when they show coming soon on Love is Blind, you know she wanted to sleep with you. And then dun, dun, dun. It's like, oh, you cut out the whole conversation where he's telling me I'm fake, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah. And then they show that one bit.
And it looks like you've just come back to fuck shit up.
And it was not like that. And that's when I knew the whole thing went against me. It was so upsetting. It really was. And then even though the fact that like the producers are all lovely to me and I was just, and they were all lovely, but like it was just so upsetting, you know?
I wouldn't worry about being the villain, Sam. I know you're probably not worrying now, but honestly, it's actually quite a sick role.
It was. I'll tell you where it was amazing. I escaped. So I actually booked a one-way ticket. I went to LA for like 8 weeks or something. And I was like, I'm going to go out to Vegas, LA, live it up. I had like women like in their cars going, we love you, Sam. And like, it was like when I'm walking the roads and then like I'm in the casino and then like people come out, can we get a photo with you? Like everywhere. We love this is how they say it. We love your character on the show. We loved you on that show. You're so, they treat it as like a character, like a fiction. They look at it as like reality TV.
It's a character. Whereas
it's a character. It's like,
that's who he is.
Yeah, the depression. Yeah. So when I walk the streets here, it's either like you get the looks or you do get people who did come up and speak to me like, look, you were a bit of a knob on the show, but like actually you're all right. And I was like, oh, cheers. Can I get a photo? Yeah, no problem. When I was in America, oh my God, I had like, I'm not that like popular, but I had women like, I was like, what is, this is insane.
I need to move to LA.
We turned up to the club. We went to One Oak, the old One Oak. And like, at this point I was like, yeah, we're in the queue. And they go, Love is Blind. Yeah, straight in table. I had them with the thing, Love is Blind. I'm like, where is my life at? Because I've gone from depression to being loved out here.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, it was a false narrative because really I was a depressed person underneath and I was drinking and I was going out. Yeah. And then I went back to my hotel rooms and I was just, I was so in a bad place and I pretended everything was great. And really I was suffering so bad. It's so upsetting because because I wanted to like believe that everything was great and like people will recognize me, but really I was almost like ashamed, you know, and again, I can't hide easily. I'm quite tall. Yeah. And I knew I was coming back to the UK and it was really difficult. So I didn't do a lot. Like I said, I hid away and I didn't do as much on my social media until my friends started saying, no, come on. But unfortunately, I think the wave kind of passed and so I went back to work and it kind of went back to normal, you know?
Did you say you had therapy then?
Yeah, so I had therapy. They gave us a therapist to start with and then I had therapy. And not only did the American people really help me, like I said, like Shane, there was a few of them. Jackie, just honestly, I owe them so much. Yeah. They reached out to me, not one of the UK lot other than Catherine and Jake, her partner, like it was so upsetting, but they really helped me. But I was going to say is that, what was I going to say? With the therapy side of it, then I fell in love and met my girlfriend and she became like more than a therapist. I don't want to say it, but she saved my life.
Oh, that's
saved
so
my
sweet.
life.
So your girlfriend now actually saved your life.
She literally saved my life.
That is so
and
amazing.
She understood exactly. And she said, I don't care. Like, I'm not even going to watch it. I was like, no. And then we actually, funny enough, recently we thought, you know what, let's get some popcorn and watch it and just like laugh. And we saw the funny side of it. And she goes, you didn't do anything that bad. Yeah, you're terrible. What were you? But like, look at like... And then we're watching Temptation Island at the moment, which is on Netflix. Mm-hmm. You're literally seeing a guy say, I love you so much to my girlfriend. And then literally he's going into the villa with another girl and like cheating in the shower. Mm. And I look at my girlfriend and I'm like, imagine if I did that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they'll be getting trolled as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. And, I'm just saying, like, in the sense of, like, to the point where people send me death threats for, like, I think I love you. And, I shouldn't have said it. And the sleeping comment, I wish I never said it, but he broke me and I snapped. And I should have never allowed myself to, I should have just really zen.
It's not even that you shouldn't have said it, because you're allowed to have emotions. It's just the edit. You can't control it. And I think when you go onto these shows, people have to accept that they might spin it a way that you don't want them to. And it's about, just from what I've learned, is building just like a wall of, like you said, your work didn't care. Your girlfriend loves you regardless. So the people that care are, who the cares about them?
I know. So, you just reminded me of something really funny. My friend, my best mate, he did two funny things. Yeah. He made a collage with all the faces of the troll. He went onto my Instagram, screenshot all the faces, and goes, these are the people that are trolling you. And you look at it and you go,
oh my God, that's
kind of all makes sense now. Like, I'm talking like people that you wouldn't even interact with on a normal day. You're like, where do they come from? Like just... like, I'm not going to go into it. Aliens.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I started to start to realize that actually it's not me, it's them. And that's where you have to go on that journey. You really do. But like I said, I never thought I'd be the villain. Like, there's 30 of us who do the show, 15 boys, and I was 1 in 15 chance you might be the villain. And I knew when they were the two couples that got married, they were going to have to create some sort of storyline, love triangle. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So I got the short straw. But I think you are right. I think there will be more silver linings. I've helped people. I fell in love from the show. I would never met my girlfriend now.
So how did you meet her?
Instagram. We had a mutual friend. But again, it helps that, she knew I was on the show and whatnot. And I think, like I said, like it's made me a stronger person. I think I had to go through that to come out the other side and realize who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I'm just like a happy-go-lucky guy. And there are times where you have bad days. Yeah. You do have bad days where you're like, raw. And then what I do is I have this thing. I go into my room and I turn all the lights off and I just sit and I just really just peacefully relax and put a bit of like music on, and you just have to escape it all. Because, it's a fast life. You go to work.
Especially in London.
Yeah, exactly. Really fast life. And it can get the better of you sometimes. And the one thing I do suffer from now is anxiety, unfortunately. So it's always when me and my girlfriend we're about to go out for dinner, we're on the way to the restaurant, I get anxiety. Like when we first walk in and faces look. And she goes, just ignore. And it's always that. It's always that now.
Yeah, because you are so tall.
I know, I can't escape it. And I'm like, oh God. But, I guess that's part and parcel of what comes with it. My girlfriend's like, just enjoy it. Like, you're the one that's being recognized.
It's sick. Yeah. Loads of people wish they were tall, so don't.
Exactly. But also like the being recognized, but I guess she's like, just enjoy it, you know? Like, feel like they're looking at you for a reason and like, whatever, like
most
own it.
Most people would never say anything in person.
Never happened.
Exactly. There you go.
Never happened.
Same.
Did you find that?
Same. I get death threats every day, but no one's ever told me in person, go and kill yourself.
It's interesting,
or
isn't
that
it?
they don't like me.
Yeah, it says a lot, doesn't it? It really does. It's a shame. It's really a shame because, like, if you are a bad person and you're in prison, you go to prison and you serve your time. Even if you serve your time and you come out and you've done something wrong and you repent, and you again, I even let people I go, unless there's certain people, obviously, but like petty crime and you learn from it, I think that's fine. People make mistakes. It's life. We're on a roller coaster. We're all on our journey.
But I don't think you've made any mistakes. You've just not acted very well, and they've cut it a certain way. You haven't made any mistakes.
I guess so.
Would you go back and not have ever gone on it? Apart from
really
meeting your girlfriend.
Oh, people ask me all the time, would you ever do it again? Or would you have like changed? I think, so this is my motto, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Good or bad, I think everything happens for a reason. We're all on our journeys and that was meant to be mine. That was meant to be mine. And I wouldn't be sitting here today having this conversation with you. No, and it's funny because obviously I used to watch, I'm fangirling, fanboying. Is there such a thing, fanboying?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So obviously I grew up, but I watched you over the years. Like, my couple of my mates today, like they cannot believe it. Like,
really?
Yeah, like insane. Seriously,
see, that makes me feel good because I hate everything I've done on TV.
No, you were wicked. Like honestly,
thank you.
And this is the thing, opportunities like this, like, you know, I would be tonight, where would I be? I'd be making dinner at the gym. So, you know, it breaks it up.
Exactly.
But, you know, I was just saying to you earlier about some of the funny stuff that's come from it. It's also the inbox messages from people who do like you.
Oh, yeah. So tell me about that.
I get a lot of guys and females. And I get a lot of guys who like want my socks, especially worn socks. And they like literally want to pay for it. First is the OnlyFans thing. OnlyFans.
Have you considered it?
I did before I met my girlfriend. I thought, do you know what? Well, whatever. And now it's kind of like me and my girlfriend are like, well, like if it's just feet, like who cares? We were like really funny about these things. Like we're even like, should we go on Temptation Island? Yeah. Like we don't care.
Are you going to launch your foot page on my podcast?
Yeah. Sam Klein's feet coming soon. Yeah. How big are your socks?
Literally.
But like, do you know what I mean? It's like so bizarre that there's so many fetishes out there. And like, this is another side of it. It's the inbox messages you get. I had married couples, one married couple in like Texas. They wanted to fly me out and like spend the weekend with them, all paid for.
So like,
and my wife loves you and please. And I was like, what is going on? Videos were sent to me. Obviously, I'm very good like that. But I was like, that's mad. Like, it's insane. Your life changes overnight.
Did you sell any socks?
I haven't, no. I haven't. So I'm actually like, I'm very clean, like in the sense of I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, you know, you only live once.
Tempted,
like if that's the worst thing. No, I don't need to. Honestly, like I was saying, I'm really lucky with my job and my career. Like I earn good money. Like I'm actually in a really good position.
Yeah.
I just was the villain on a love show.
Absolutely. But it's so weird how they want your feet. Like, were your feet on the TV or something?
I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't know. It's feet, gym kit, worn gym kit as well. Not just gym kit, worn gym kit and boxes, obviously. A lot of guys, a lot of like guys,
How much were you offered?
So my mate took my phone once and just did like, he was like 100 quid. He was like, 500, he was like 250, 350 just for a pair of socks. So if I did 300 quid a time, 10, I was like, I don't have to go to it.
God.
Yeah. But I don't know how OnlyFans work. Can you do that on there? Or
yeah, of course you can. No. Yeah, you can sell socks and
You're
stuff
giving me ideas now. No. Honestly, my life, I'm in a really good position
exactly.
and, you know, I'm thinking about kids, I think. So
really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Marriage, so how long have you been with your girlfriend now?
6 months now. And like I said, she's amazing. She's honestly like incredible. And I'm so lucky. Like I don't deserve her even. Like she's honestly an amazing person. Yeah. And she's very attracted to you as well. So yeah, just so
really?
You were. Yeah. I was showing her you. So I don't know if I can say this, but yeah, no. So my girlfriend's had like, she's quite famous back home and like in her country, and you know, she's been in relationships with women as well. So that's why I said that.
Oh, is she inviting me around then?
Yeah,
no, I'm joking.
Only fair. No. But no, she's honestly, she's so supportive and an amazing person, and like her family all accepted me. She's from Israel.
Oh, Israel, okay.
Yeah, so she's in Tel Aviv. She's on a plane home right now, actually. So we just had a lovely weekend together. Yeah. So she's moving to the UK.
Okay.
She's going to come here and we're going to try and start a life together. Yeah, although there's not much sun here. Although at the moment it's amazing.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, so she did Big Brother in her home country.
Okay, yeah.
And she went through, she was a villain, but she actually finished second runners up because I think you can do well. Yeah. I think it's like a different form.
They like the villains.
Yeah, they like people who talk up, right?
What's her name?
Shani.
What's her full name? Just
Shani Daphne Goldstein.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a character. Like so she's got quite a big following. So she's like an influencer per se. And she's really taught me about like what the balance is now is that my Instagram is just for fun and helping people. And hers is like, she actually makes money from it. And like she's got her own podcast and she's doing like women's events. She's very like pro women in terms of like helping people with.
She needs to come on here.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. And my point is that she's spiritual and she's into like card readings and the numbers and numerical stuff, and she'd like open my eyes to all this amazing stuff. And I know it's just, I'm spiritual and it's just like taking me to another level, really, Jem, honestly. Like
that's amazing.
So I've realised that actually there's more than just TV and it's just a show. And you know,
I love a happy ending.
Yeah,
not that kind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that. That's so sweet. So just before we finish off, what can you tell me, what's your favourite memory from the show and your least favourite, like your worst experience and your best? Yeah,
it's a really good one. I think, to be honest with you, my favourite memory of the show is probably being with all the boys and having a laugh, like being in the lounge together and escaping the real world with your mobile phones and just having deep conversations with people, whether it's in the pods or out, just being separated from the real world. Actually, that's probably the way to say it. Yeah. Being in a bubble experiment and like forgetting everything else. I loved that in Big Brother. So that was what it was for me. And did you say the worst? Yeah, what was your worst moment? God. Oh, I think it was. Oh, we didn't touch on it, but it was the reunion. I think being on that stage, I wanted the. Oh my god,
We've got a bit of time. We can talk about it a bit.
Yeah. So the reunion was. It just went so. I was told that it's fine. Everyone's aware you're coming. It's just going to be really relaxed and just a chance for people just to give their final pieces.
Yeah.
No. I walked in, the doors open. They had me come out later and everyone else, and the audience, all the family and friends go, boo.
I remember.
And I'm like. They've just told me. So I was like, then you're going up onto the stage. And at this point, like, I haven't, after everything I've been through with all the social media, because this is a year later, remember?
Oh yeah, the reunion's
so I'm already
filmed.
like a broken person at this point. This is before I meet my girlfriend, didn't know. And I'm like, okay, I sit on the couch and my lips go so dry. And there was like these cups in front of the gold cup. So I thought, okay, just get some water. And I went, there was nothing in it. And I'm like, and then the producers turned at me and everyone, all the audience looking at you, all the cast are looking at you. And I was like, no, this is not good. And then they started going, so Sam, Emma Willis, and you did cause a bit of, and then they started throwing these questions at me. And I did a podcast with Emma Willis and Matt, opened up very much like this, and they were amazing. They knew I got bullied at school and what I went through.
Yeah.
And when they were asking me these questions, I was looking at Matt because I had to like concentrate on something because I was basically having a panic attack on stage. Literally, if you watch it, you see I'm literally having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I'm going, get me out of here, like, get me. And he's like, I can see he's just like, he's going like that. And I literally had some sort of special moment with him. It was really bizarre.
Where he understood you.
He understood me, he understood. And I think he tried to like get me out of it, but unfortunately had the producers in his ear. And I could tell it was all going off. So they were all firing shots at me, all the other cast members. Bob, all of them, you're here for fake reasons. We knew you were, you wasted everyone's time. They cut it all out, by the way. It's all gone. And then and I'm like, I'm wrecked. But I actually composed myself and I spoke really, I'm proud of myself. And that night, I'm not saying it's all about followers on Instagram. I walked away, 20,000 followers from that, just like people saying, wow, like you genuinely, like we actually understand now.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, like that gave me the motivation to kick on from that point. But unfortunately, after that night, I went backstage. So when they said, okay, thank you so much, they made me walk off while they were all sitting on the couch. And I knew it was shit. You had to sit at the front. I'm trying to do this really fast.
No, it's all right. Don't do it fast. It's cool.
And I was sitting there and I was like, I had to carry on watching them all. And I was like, nah. Basically, I wanted to put my hand up, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, like that.
Yeah, of course.
It was like that. But they carried on. I was like in the audience now and I'm looking at them and all the family and friends are looking at me. I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm literally like, okay. And then they see and they come I go, please. And they come and get me and they pull me to a room at the back. They walked me off and I took my suit jacket off and I literally broke down on the floor on my knees and I burst out crying like a big baby. And I had the therapist lady come in and they calmed me down. They almost called an ambulance. Like it was that bad. And I was like, why? Why did that happen? Like, why couldn't they just, I came to say I wish them nothing but the best. And they just wouldn't have it. Like they just wouldn't allow the fact, for some reason, they're so caught up that I'm this terrible person. And I just wanted to come today to tell them that I'm sorry if there was anything I offended, but I wish you nothing but the best.
It's so savage because so many people off these reality shows do get suicidal. And sadly, there have been some people who have killed themselves. And I feel like the producers of all these shows, they're still not getting it. They're still putting people in these situations. They're not taking it seriously enough. I'm not saying that you're saying that specifically, but from my point of view, I've known people. One of my good friends killed herself who was on Love Island, Sophie, and they just don't take it seriously enough. You know, they should have never put you in that position.
It's so hard to like, even like, I don't want to get emotional, but like, even when you just said that, like, it takes me to like those moments of crap. Yeah, it's because people like, they just see me as this like 6'6" guy, and like they think that I can I'm just like a rock, and like it's not the case. I was crying out for help on that stage, and I just wanted one of the cast members just to stick up for me and just say, do you know what, Sam? Like I spent 2 weeks with you. You were an absolute gentleman. Yeah. Yes, okay, there was a few moments, but like really, come on, guys. And it just didn't happen. And funny enough, I think it was Jasmine's mum in the audience. She was looking at me, and she was another one I got the eye contact with, and she was like, it was really weird. She was like, she could see I was struggling. Yeah. Well, I think she's a nurse. I was going to say. I think her mum's a nurse or mental health or something. Mental health. She saw I was suffering as well. And I think that was the toughest day of my life because that is really tough. Really, really tough. And when you tell me things like that, it does put it all into perspective that like, you know, it's just fun and games until it's not.
No, exactly. And the producers need to know, exactly. We're all human beings with emotions.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that despite what everyone thinks of you and off the telly, hand on heart, I think you're so lovely. Obviously, I've only met you now, but anybody who wants to say anything bad about Sam, you've not met him, and he's actually really lovely. And
I really appreciate
it's an
that.
edit.
Thank you so much, honestly. And thank you for having me on. And like, this is amazing. So I'm still a bit like, I can't believe I'm here, but thank you so much.
I can't believe you're here. Is there anything else you want to share?
Watch, subscribe, and one more thing. And I always say this now is like, if the best piece of advice I can give to anyone who's suffering, please talk. Like, do not bottle it up. I do not do what I did. Talk to anyone. It could be a friend, family member. It's someone you feel confident enough and comfortable enough. Just please talk.
Don't bottle it up, man or woman.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
And you're not weak if you do. I think it makes you stronger if you 100%. Open up, because you're not afraid of, ego and being judged or whatever. You just be honest and open, and that's the best way. So there
you go.
Make sure you watch, subscribe, and like. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you. Yay.